Welcome back, welcome in. I'm obviously back up in here doing the live stream again, and it's just kind of been a cool week. I've been talking about a lot of mythology, no particular strong focus this week, but just kind of generally putting out some good mythology. Of course, running across some very interesting characters throughout the way, right? Like, so I'm really digging it, really digging just the part of just really digging into mythology more and bringing out some like insane characters, right? And then after a week of doing that, or a couple of days of doing that, I like to do a versus, which is one of the most fun parts, right? So I'm gonna get it started early. I'm waiting for some people to get in here. Thank you for whoever just started watching. Thank you for stopping in, and we're just gonna get right into it. I got 9 verses for the day that I'm gonna get into, and some verses I think nobody's matching up with, man. Now, if you see up top, this beastly creature, right over there. Top, well, I can't even press the right way, right? This beastly creature up here, right? This is an Iloko. And Iloko is called the little people of the forest in Bantu mythology, okay? And what you guys might, like the little people title might make you think, okay, there's nothing to worry about here. But you would be so wrong, right? This thing is a fierce little beast. They live in the forest and they eat people. That's what they do. Now, I'm going to talk more about what this character actually does, but I had to take a moment to get into his versus partner in this, who is Black Noir, right? And Black Noir, if you're into the boys, and I'm into the boys, the new season just started, obviously, so I'm back in the episode. I think I watched the first 2 episodes, and a lot of black people on the boys now, right? At least in the 7, right? You got 3 characters, although I don't know if they know that Black Noir is black, and they replaced him, so I don't even know if this new one is black or not. But I guess it doesn't matter. Because he's got superhuman strength, he's got superhuman stamina, he's got durability, and we know this guy can fight. Super senses, hearing, all this stuff. He's a maddening killer. He really strikes like fear in people when he shows up, and he never talks. So it's that extra factor. But whether you talk ain't gonna matter to this Iloko, because all it's gonna do, like its whole goal, is to get you into its mouth, like in one piece. Like I know it doesn't look like it right there. But apparently the mouth in this guy can just grow and grow and grow, right? The mouth can get big enough that you can put a human adult in your mouth for the purposes of then eating it, right? So that's what he's got in mind. When he sizes up Nor, that's what he's going for. And you know what? These things aren't just savages. Like, they are savages, but they're not just savages, in the sense that these are intelligent creatures, smart enough to be magic wielders at the same time. So this guy can come, like, they're going to be stealthy hunters, This is going to have to be a jungle scenario for Black Noir to be, like, in his zone, right? And they're stealthy hunters, so they will, dive out of the tree on you. They will, like, they've got magic, so what they'll do is, they can mimic the sound of human babies, right? This isn't going to work on Nora because he didn't care about human babies or any other kind of humans, right? But what they would do is lure you into the jungle by sounding like a baby. And they use magic to kind of change up their appearance as well. And then all of a sudden, surprise, they got you. They're all over you. That's not going to work on New York because he's not going to fall for that, right? He doesn't care. But if they square up, just face off one on one, I just think having the magic, having the brutality, I would like to see Nor come through this, but I just can't imagine that Nor actually comes through this, right? That's what I'm going to say in this versus battle here. If Nor steps into the jungle, welcome to the jungle, gets worse here every day. That's what's going on, because you got an Iloko up here who's like, I'm hungry. And they're extremely territorial, and you can see they're very much mad, at least based on this guy's glowing eyes and massive fangs. So coming around the top, the boys are going to take a loss. The 7's going to take a loss in this one. And Nor, I believe, will get devoured by this thing. And it's fitting. Nor's crazy. He's had a rough life. You probably don't want to go on anyway, right? So that's the first battle. Let's see what we got coming up next. Let's see what I can come up with next as a surprise battle for you guys here. Let's see. This is a good one here. This is the kind of stuff I really like myself, right? You got 2 now. For this versus battle, we get into Mesoamerica, or at least Mesoamerican mythology, and 2 very distinctive, very different beings here, right? Kosijo up top is a rain god, obviously Mesoamerican, but this guy I think is associated with the Mayan belief system, and he's a rain god. Below, you got Shulat, who is from Aztec mythology. Now, up top, Casijo, he is a rain deity, and here's where he really gets into it. He created everything per this mythology, right? Per the Mesoamerican mythology, this guy created everything, including you, like the planet. So this is a massive level of power that this deity would have. Shulat, right, obviously is the executioner, and his role in this was that when the gods were making humans, they had to sacrifice so many gods in order to do it. And he was like the executioner who was doing the deed, chopping the hearts out of each of the gods so that they could bring forth human life. You never hear about gods making sacrifices like this to bring humans around. This is a very strange thing coming from Aztec culture, but they needed an executioner, and he was the executioner. After that, he tried to avoid his own fate of being sacrificed, and must have, because he's still venerated as a guardian of the underworld. I don't know if you could be dead and be a guardian of the underworld, but that's what his role is now, to keep people in place in the underworld. Now, this is a nasty dude, right? Obviously, he's got a little bit of selfishness to him. Obviously, he's good at killing. Obviously, he's going up against someone who controls thunder, and I'm gonna give Kisoji like a much higher level of overall power. I think that's the reality. Like, we have a god who's seen as a creator god, right? You see he's got lightning with him. If you control lightning, any of the sky elements, you're a bad dude, right? So, Shalut, down below, I'm sorry. You're the executioner. You're the scarier one with the fire. But I think that the lightning outdoes the fire. And like I said, as a mythological matchup, I think he's going to reign in Mesoamerica right now. And we'll see who else comes up in Mesoamerica. I got some other new gods that are up on the channel right now. You guys can definitely check these two guys. I've already done profiles on both these Mesoamerican deities right now. Taking a look at them. But definitely go and check it out if you want to learn a little bit more about these two particular deities. Okay. All right. This is what I've been kind of itching about myself, right? And up top, this is Angerboda, called the bringer of grief, okay? I mean, you know how I feel about nicknames. And this is at the top of the nickname list. The bringer of grief? I mean, come on, man. That's saying a lot about you when you step on the scene, what people should expect from your aura, your presence, and your energy. She's saying it all and following up with this very menacing gaze here, right? Angerboda. Angerboda. This is her name. I mean, even just beyond the nickname, the name is wild. But I got her matched up against something I think might be a tussle for her. This is Nana Baluka. Now, Nana Baluka is a Vodun goddess, right? West African belief systems. What some people would call voodoo. This is where she comes from. She's a goddess of the earth. She's a goddess of swamps. She's a goddess of death. Okay, and being a goddess of creation. So she's both ends of it, right? She's the full circle of goddesses when it really comes down to it, right? And look how fit she keeps herself. That's gorgeous right there, right? I like how she's got her makeup, the markings on her leg. Like, you're killing it right there. Angerboda going up against us. Now, Angerboda, like, not to sell her short. This is one of the many children of Loki, right? Loki was a complete illegitimate dad. I don't know if he was a deadbeat dad or not. It seemed like he had a good relationship with his kids. But this is one of them. And she's actually a giant on her pop side and on her mom side. And she is called a demoness of the Norse mythology, right? This giantess here. And here's the thing. Ordinarily, she looks like she'll beat anybody's ass. I would definitely run from her. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that if you control death and you control creation, that I have to back up off you. And anybody stepping in front of you probably is going to submit. They're probably going to fall down. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Vodun goddess of the earth, swamps, death, and creation. Because she's got a much better resume. And, both astounding. It's an amazing chocolate skin, death-wielding goddess here. I'm not going to go against her or even pick against her. Give me your thoughts on this one here as we get into another one. This is like one of my favorite ones. I wanted to match these two up. What do we have next here? Okay. All right, this one I like. Visually, this is everything this channel is all about, right? Visually, this is exactly what we want, right? A very powerful, sword-wielding, good guy against a horned demon with red eyes and spikes on his arm. And that's what we got here, right? If you're not familiar or up on your mythological game, that is Alcala, who is called the immovable one of Buddhist beliefs. Now, this guy had a very important role as he was the protector of the sacred teachings, right? So this is a very powerful deity armed with the thunderbolt. You can see that thunderbolt sword that he's rocking there, right? But down below, this guy is no joke, right? Aesma, right? The demon, the destructive demon is what he's called. This dude comes all the way back from Zoroastrian belief systems, right? Associated with lust, anger, right? Generally being mad. Classified as a true demon, armed with this like demonic sword that he has, right? I don't see it there. But these two guys in this mythical scenario are going to go up against it. And I'm going to tell you right now, these demons are no joke. These demons are no joke, right? This is old Zoroastrian belief system. But anytime, I see somebody and they got lightning, they got thunder, like storm gods are just too powerful, right? The natural elements, storm, the lightning, is too powerful for anybody to come. And he's got this weaponized in the fashion of this sword, right? So you can see he's got his armor on. This is a very, very powerful Buddhist deity. And he's locked into it. The immovable one, right? This guy is always going to fight on the side of righteousness, which I definitely agree with. And I'm going to endorse this guy. I believe in you. You look like you got the eye of the tiger truly in more than just one way, right? So in this mythological matchup here, I'm choosing the righteous God over the demon of lust and being mad all the time. And that's how it goes. That's the guys that we want to win, right? But this one here kind of perplexed me a little bit because we got two, we talk a lot about magic on this channel, and you can't talk about magic without talking about sorcerers and witches. And that's what we have here in this splendid matchup here, right? I don't know how many of you guys are Witcher fans. If you like mythology, right, I would think you check out The Witcher. It's a good show in that regard. I mean, for magic welders and all that kind of stuff, right? So we got up top Yennefer of Vengerberg, who is a very, very powerful magic welder. This girl changed her whole chemistry. Remember, she had that hump on her back and her jaw was all messed up. She changed all that up. But she's going up against a legendary sorceress who is Morgan Le Fay of Arthurine, Knights of the Round Table mythology. She was like this chief nemesis of Merlin. Like, you can see how she looks. And you know what Merlin did. Merlin was supposed to be teaching her magic, but Merlin wasn't teaching her just magic. Merlin was trying to give her some other lessons, right? And just kind of go on light on her teachings. But Morgan Le Fay was very, very, very ambitious, right? Very power hungry. And she was like, no, I'm not having it. I'm just not going to be your little bed warmer, Merlin. So she went for herself, right? She stole a bunch of information from Merlin, got what he could, and launched her own franchise as being a powerful sorceress goddess, right? So we've seen both of these ladies here affect their individual worlds based on the kind of power that they will, right? Both of them. Now, in a matchup right here, I look at this, and the first thing I think, man, is that I don't know who's more ruthless. I don't know that extra eye of the tiger. I don't know who's got that. Now, I think on just raw power, I go Yennefer. And again, I'm a fan of the show, so I've been watching The Witcher for a long time. I've seen her in battle. I've seen her go to war. I've read about Morgan Le Fay, and I've seen some depictions of her, and I just think at the end of the day, like, you're gonna be overmatched. I don't know. A student of Merlin, anyone who can stand up, I'm gonna have to rearrange that. I'm gonna have to change that. I don't think that Yennefer is. Wow, I don't know. I don't know on this one, guys. I'm gonna be really, really honest. This is a matchup I thought I had in the bag, but both these two are just such power wielders that I don't know at the end of the day. I think both of them are exceptionally bad witches, and who knows? That's why we love to have a battle and see this one go down. But I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a definitive answer, and I still can't come up with anything. So I'm going to have to let this one ride. I'm not calling this a draw, but I'm going to come back to this one. I mean, like I said, I was initially coming in this thinking Yennefer all the way. Again, I was just hype off of watching the last season of The Witcher, and I saw, I got Yennefer on the brain. But I don't know. I'm still going Yennefer. As of right now, I'm saying Yennefer takes this fight. Why this matters so much to me, I don't know. But I've had a hard time going on with this one. But back to, okay, so for those who like the Kemetic belief system, right? You know how to give your boy Mahis, right? Mahis, the Kemetic Netter, the lion-headed warrior, one of the baddest dudes that's out there, right? Mr. Get It Done, Mr. Let's Fight, right? But I got him going up against a true demon, right? This is Bali the usurper from the Rig Veda, right? So from Hindu belief systems. And the name the usurper tells you everything about this guy as a straight up conqueror and a very, very powerful demon. You see he's rocking a nice set of armor here, right? He's ready to go. He's got the horns. He's going to fight with the sword. He's going to bring some power, right? Mahi's, though, is that dude. Mahi's is that dude, right? Out of the lion-headed line, right? Sekhmet, Unhair, Packet. This guy's right there at the top. Anytime you see that lion-headed depiction, you know they're going to be fierce, right? You know they're going to be completely badass. And that's what he is. And because Mahi stands for righteousness, because Mahi's is on the side of being the hero, because he's personally my dude and my homie that I always go for, there's no way I'm going to pick a demon to negate the skills of my boy, right? So Bali the Usurper, I'm sorry, you're going to take this L. Right, you look like you might be a bad dude. You look like you might have some problems, but I don't think you're going to be able to bring those problems over to Mahi's. Based on just the power, the skill, the enchanted sword, which he has, so I'll talk about both those weapons. Again, I just don't think that there's any way that Bali hangs with my main man here. This is fun. I'm enjoying these. Okay. Another good one, man, especially if you notice the visuals on this one. Up top, the Hurrian goddess of health, fertility, and war. And that being Sauska. Her nickname being She Who Is Armed. Again, who gets to come up with these nicknames? Because I certainly could use one like that, right? He who talks about mythology. I don't know. It doesn't have the same ring to it. But I'm placing this fierce goddess, smoking hot, against Bhutamata, who's called the Goblin Mother. And this is another deity that we're borrowing over from Hindu belief systems. So Hindu and the Hurrian goddess, this is some antiquity here that's going down. Now, this Goblin Mother came from the brow of their supreme deity. Because, like, these goblins and lesser demons, they're just out there tripping, right? So, Kartiki, the supreme deity, basically like summoned her forth. He was tired of all these goblins tripping, so he just summoned her forth, concentrated, and she came forth from his brow. And he was like, "Okay, I need you to go over there and handle this situation because these goblins are tripping, and I'm getting tired of it." So she's like, "Handle." So she shoots over there, very quickly puts all these rogue goblins swiftly in check. Swiftly in check, right? She's taking no stunts. Quickly checks everybody to the degree that they all bowed down to her and asked that she be their queen. They said they would quit tripping, but they wanted her to be their queen, the one in charge of them. And that is how the story of the Goblin Queen, Goblin Mother, was ultimately born. That she threw a beat down. Imagine you whoop somebody's ass so good, so thoroughly that they want you to be their ruler. That's some bad ass whooping there. But I don't think that she's going up against a goblin in Sauska, who is a very powerful in Hurrian belief system. She was at the apex, man. She was also a deity of war, and you can see she's armed up, 2 swords, known for leading armies into battle. She who is armed. I just really feel like she ain't going out getting dirty, man. White hair, white costume. I feel like there's no way that the Goblin Queen's I mean, who knows? Who knows? This is one of those battles that, man, I wish I could have more information on both these two goddesses to put them together. But I do believe that a war goddess is really going to come. I mean, they're both fighters. They're both fighters. Obviously, I'm going for the one that I find more attractive in here. And this is going to be Sauska. I think she takes this battle. But, you know, the Goblin Mother, man, that's a dope character too. Or some very interesting mythology. I got some profiles on both of them if you want to go to the channel, the main channel, and check them out. But in a versus competition, Sauska, man, I'm going that route all the way, all day. Like I said, if you have nice armor, I'm probably gonna root for you. But a goblin is a goblin, man. I mean, she beat down a bunch of goblins and somehow earned their respect, which has got to be one hell of an ass whooping for you just to earn somebody's respect by beating their ass. But that's how it goes. I guess I respect you. I respect what you did. All right. All right, another good one here, right? Going back to comedic belief systems, right? So we got comedic belief system up top. We got Semitic goddess down below. That's interesting right there. And who do we have? Selket, who is called the scorpion goddess. She's a protector goddess, right? She has power over venom. Versus Astarte, a very famous deity called the goddess of the evening star, right? She's known by a bunch of other names as well. And clearly you can see she came in a fight, right? She's armed with her sword. I never got any info on whether she's got, any enchanted weapons, but I know this is a very powerful and highly respected goddess. But I feel like Selket here, who is the scorpion goddess, is not necessarily getting her run. I feel like, look, I know if I see a scorpion right now, I don't care how small or large that scorpion is, I'm afraid of it, right? I'm going to be afraid of it. And I think that Astarte should be as afraid of that scorpion. She should be that way about Selket, who is a scorpion goddess, a protector, right? And she protected Atum Ra. She had a very meaningful task in who she was protecting over. So in this one, because she's a scorpion, I think they can strike so quickly. I see a nice little peak on her armor down at the bottom for Astarte right near the butt. She gets you right in the nice little fat area. Get that poison up in you, and the scorpion goddess is going to take this combative fight. I love to see the two of them go at it. And, I think Astarte's got a puncher's chance, but with the scorpion goddess, I just think it's too much. I think it's too much. I don't think you pull off that unlikely victory in this scenario. Right? And that's the truth. All right, now, another really, really interesting, really going deep into mythology, right? Up top, if you don't know about these four goddesses here, I'm going to learn you about these four goddesses here who are called the hackers of Apep. And if you know about Apep, because it's stuff that we've talked about before, you know that Apep is the chaos snake in North African or Kemetic beliefs. He's the ultimate chaos crazy, right? And Apep is no joke. I don't know if you guys read about that Apep killer recently, but Apep is still being venerated, and people were going out committing murders in the sake of Apep. And every night when my man Atum Ra descends into the underworld on the barge, you guys know the story, right? Who's waiting for him? Apep is waiting for him. So they get tired of Apep every night. So they created these four deities here, right? And it is Tem, Tipet, Tenith, Nakith, and Hetepmetep, right? These four here. And what they do is they are called the hackers of Apep because that is exactly what they do. They hack up Apep. When you show your face, we're getting busy. They're all armed with these four giant knives, and they go to work. But I have them pose with someone who's a powerful, powerful beast himself, right? Hades of the Greek god of the underworld. One of the three brothers, one of the triangle of Zeus, Hades, and Neptune, right? Representing a significant power. He's richer than everybody else, too. There's all kinds of gems under the earth. That's where all the good stuff is hidden at. And Hades is there running this whole thing. He's got the whole operation. He's singularly in charge down there. Although no one else wants it, he's got it, right? But if I'm putting up against these four goddesses and I'm looking for someone who could handle Hades, who's got the power, who's got the remember he got an enchanted weapon too when Zeus got the lightning bolt and Poseidon got the trident. He got that sword. Nobody talks a lot about the sword of Hades, but I'm going to break out the special properties of the sword of Hades. It's not going to matter here because it ain't going to help him against these four hackers of Apep. Because I'm like, if you can go head up with Apep, the chaos snake, every single night, you're ready for that battle, you got the energy, you're ready to go, then I'm going to say right now you could deal with Hades. And that's what I'm seeing in this scenario, that these four here, these four comedics, are going to be able to take down Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. I'm saying it right here, live and direct, that these four, right, working in concert, if they can take on Apep, they can deal with Hades. That's my take on it right now. That's my 9 verses for today. I think it's Thursday, whatever the day is. And I'm going to let you guys stew on that. Come check out the channel. I got basically profiles on all these deities up here, so you can kind of get your mythological dose if you need it. It's always here. Please, I encourage you to make your comments. But come check it out. I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys again. I'll probably be doing another verses in another couple of days. Always appreciate your support.